What's up, everybody? What's up? This is your boy Chris Reed Beats back with another video, man. I hope you guys are ready for another live stream. Today we are talking about drum sequencer, and we're going to jump right into drum sequencer actually. So first and foremost, drum sequencer is a player from Reasonstudios. You can get this player by having Reason Plus or purchasing it from the store, and you can use this drum sequencer in order to create drum beats. Now, Redrum is another instrument inside of Reason that also has a sequencer, and it will allow you to sequence out your drum patterns using this sequencer down here. But the advantage of using drum sequencer is that there are a lot of different things that you can do with it in terms of the different functionality that drum sequencer provides you. So I see that there are some people that says, what is that, in our poll, meaning what is drum sequencer? So hopefully I can show you guys today what drum sequencer is, and if you're not familiar with it, then you can get a little bit more familiar with drum sequencer. So first of all, I got this drum pattern that I was cooking up while the starting soon was rolling down, getting prepared for our stream today. So I'm going to go ahead and play this so that you guys can hear this drum sequencer. All right, so here's some things that are different about drum sequencer as opposed to like Redrum, for example. The first thing that's different is you have this option here, which is called a slide, and you also can change that to speed. So for example, with these hi-hats, say these hi-hats are going too fast and I want the hi-hats to be slower than the rest of the drums that are in this drum sequencer, I can change the speed to 0.5, and now the hi-hats will be much slower. So like, that's one thing that you can do, but also I already added some slide as well, and that just means it's gonna nudge the hi-hats off beat from the rest of the drum pattern. So it's not gonna be playing at the same time as the rest of the pattern. I can make it play behind the rest of the drums, which would be like a pull in terms of like drum verbiage, or I can have it go in front of the rest of the drums, which would be like a push, meaning like I'm pushing the hi-hats, I'm rushing the hi-hats, right? Made So Well, welcome to the stream. Made So Well says, I wish a good tool was an option. I'm guessing that you're talking about the options for our poll, because we have a beast, overrated, what is that? So somewhere in between overrated and a beast is what you're saying about drum sequencer, I imagine. And I guess that would be an option that we could put. It's somewhere in between, sure. But I like to think of it like, you know, one or the other. But you're right. All right, so thanks for joining the stream, and thanks for sending a chat. Let me know you up in here. Chris Mills, what's up, man? Shout out to you. Welcome to the live stream. Hey there, Chris. The drum sequencer is awesome. I totally agree with you, Chris. That drum sequencer is awesome. It's one of those things that I don't use enough, but this is a technique in which I do use it. I use it in this way. I will create a bunch of patterns, and then I will export those patterns as a loop. And then I will just have a bunch of drum loops that I can use. So for example, in this Chris Reed trap drum loops, these were all created using drum sequencer. Move, fly. These were all created using drum sequencer, and what I was able to do was just use the same drums but create different patterns, and then that way it's something that you can use. So that's one technique that you could use for drum sequencer as well, using the different patterns. So you have the same drums using the different patterns. I'm using drum sequencer with Kong Drum Designer. One of the reasons why I'm doing that is because Kong has some really cool effects that you can add right into the device. Sometimes I like doing that, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I prefer to use Redrum, because then that way it's very clean in the way that I can send these to different mix channels like this. I can just hit route new mix channel, route new mix channel, route new mix channel. I can just do that very easily, and then that way here's my kick, and then I can add my, you know, EQing and everything to that. But sometimes Kong Drum Designer just gets me in the mood for making beats and for like playing around with drums. So that's why I use this one. So back to drum sequencer. Another advantage that drum sequencer has over like redrum as a sequencer is you have the ability to play with the probability of notes. So if we have this kick drum here, we have this pattern. I can actually set a probability using this lane right down here. You can see as I click and drag, the percentages change, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so you can see it a little more clearly what I'm referring to. Right here it says 80%, so we can go even lower, maybe to like 25%, right? And then leave this one at 100%. And same thing over here. Let's set this one to 50%. And so now when I play the drums through, it's not going to play the same way that it played before. So now we are creating and adding in variation into the drum sequence, into the drum loop, just by using probability. And you can add in probability with more notes, different effects. Like right here, I think this is our, it's like a tambourine or something. So we can know that this is the tambourine. So we can add like another tambourine over here, but we can set the probability like really low. So that way it only comes every so often. And some of this stuff like applies to music production for today, and some of it doesn't, because for some people, like variation in the beat is not a thing that they care about. For some music producers, we don't really want a lot of variation. It's just kind of like, once the beat is going, let's just keep the beat like that. But for others, it's like you want to have something that is like, you know, changing the ear, what people are hearing, and it's catching their attention, like, oh, that's a new sound, or oh, the drums changed here. And this is a really easy way, using probability is a really easy way to add in some variety, so that you're not just getting the same exact pattern over and over and over again. So that's one other advantage that drum sequencer has over redrum, for example. It also has presets that you can use in terms of like copying over your other drums. Redrum has a random, you can actually randomize your patterns. So like those things are similar. You can randomize in drum sequencer and in redrum. You can also alter your drums. So for example, if I hit preset and go to alter, I actually have to choose a drum that I want to alter. I can press this button here and it will alter all of the drum patterns, or I can press a different button. If I press here, then it'll just alter this pattern. So that makes it really powerful, because you can just, you know, have different patterns that you can use. So for example, let's say I go to pattern 2 and I go to copy, and I'm going to come here to my pattern 1, I'm going to hit copy, go to pattern 2, hit paste, go to pattern 3, hit paste, go to pattern 4, hit paste, so on and so forth. You get the idea. I'm just pasting it over into the other patterns. Probably wouldn't normally do it like this. I probably would more so just create more drum patterns as I'm going along. But let's just say I did that, and then I changed this to alter, and I can press this button to alter every single drum, and I can just do that all the way across, and that's going to give me some really like weird, funky, like different patterns. Just by pressing the alter one time on all of these, it has the ability to alter every single drum pattern that is included. Or I could just go in and say, I only want you to alter the kick drum. So look, it just made a very slight alter with the probability here, and I only want you to really alter that. I don't want you to really move anything else around, right? And so with that, like, you get some very like different drum samples, and you could just cycle through these until you hear one that you really like. Maybe it changes it, and that way you're not like working so hard for yourself, but you're letting the program do some work for you, right? And let me just check out the chat real quick as I play what we got so far. So here's the original playthrough, and we'll go to 2. Like, I like something about that. It's just missing some of the elements. So maybe I add in some more drums. Yeah, so like I can tell like from using the alter, my second pattern had more of like a feel, like if I was creating a drum feel, it had a more feel kind of situation when I use alter. But pattern 3 gave me like a totally different vibe, same drums but just a different vibe. So that's like different things that you can do. Yeah, just totally changing up your beat for you. And you can use that, right? You could use that for different parts of your track. You could use like your main pattern, like pattern 1 could definitely be for the verse. And then pattern 5 could be like for the hook, or like you could change it around when you want to use those different kind of patterns. So that's an advantage that drum sequencer has over redrum as well. Also, just looking at it, even just looking at the layout of it, when you look at this redrum, I'm going to take this guy and move it up here so you can see it a little closer with each other. And now that I did that, you can't see it closer at all. All right, here we go. So even just looking at the layout of the sequencer on redrum, you can only see the sequencer as it is compared to whatever drum you're using. So when you hit select, then you can see the notes that are being applied to that drum. But on drum sequencer, you can see the sequence pattern for all of the drums that you are affecting. So that's a really big like advantage over redrum. I still like using redrum a lot of times though. So, but I'm just pointing out some of the differences that you have with drum sequencer as opposed to the other. You also can, you know, change velocity, but that's like, yeah, okay, everybody, you know, you can change the velocity of all of the notes and everything like that. You can come in here, you can pull this one down. I did that up here with the hi-hats. I started pulling some of these down and then I got lazy, but yeah, you just kind of pull the velocity down. I think there's a way that they can make that a little more seamless so that you have a better flow when you're creating that. I think there's an opportunity there for them to work on something on that regard, but definitely something there. And then maybe even just being able to change this from velocity to some other parameter would be something I really would like. Like, can we change this to pan, or can we change this to shuffle, or, you know, something else that we can also change the amounts of over time. I think that would be really cool. But that's our, you know, drum pattern that we've created. I want to speed this drum up a little bit. Oh, the redrum over here was playing as well. Let's just delete that redrum. I'm gonna change my speed back over here. And now that you got like some cool drums, then you really can start going in with the rest of your track. We got Gain Stage in the chat. Glad I could catch the live stream. Been trying to use Reason more lately. I'm glad to hear that. I really like using Reason. I've been using Reason my entire like music production career. Essentially, I've dibbled and dabbled in Ableton and Fruity Loops, but Reason pretty much is my go-to. If I got a call to make some beats or make some music, or if I'm doing some kind of project, if I'm doing my video editing and I want to create like a hip-hop beat, or if I want to create like just a sound or something, I'm pulling up Reason for sure. So yeah, I'm glad that you could catch it up, man. Made So Well says, I got introduced to this channel from a Reason bulletin. I always find value. Been rocking with Reason since 2. Hey, Made So Well, what was the bulletin that you got introduced to the channel from? That's really interesting, actually. I didn't know that there was somebody out there talking about me in the world. What kind of stuff is that? What y'all doing? So we got this drum loop. And now I want to kind of just like add some more stuff to it, right? So I got this new little VST from IK Multimedia called Piano Verse. That's something that I've been using a lot lately. I've been enjoying Piano Verse, the different like instruments and sounds that they have there. So I'm going to use Piano Verse real quick. I'm going to pull that up. Hopefully I can find my sustain pedal. I always seem to lose my sustain pedal at the worst times. But there it is. We got sustain pedal. Yeah, let's do something like that. Super jazzy, crazy sounding like that. Like, okay, so every time I press stop, it makes this sound. What is that? I don't know, but that's cool. All right, here we go. Somehow that worked out. Somehow that worked out. I gotta figure out what that is, because every time I press the stop key, I can't hear that over and over again. Like that's that's a cool little sound that they created, but I ain't trying to hear that all the time. Always learn. Hey, excuse me, Michael Abbott, shout outs to you. Welcome to the live stream. Always learn from your videos. Thanks for helping the community. Hey man, I appreciate you, man. I'm glad I could be of some help. We got Ivan up in here. What's up, Ivan, man? Shout outs to you. Thank you for joining the stream. I gotta figure out what that is. What is that creating that sound? That's so interesting. Maybe it's the, no, it's not that. Man, what is that? It's like every time I do it, it makes that sound. It's kind of crazy. And I like the sound. That's the other bad part about it. I like the sound. I like it. Bring it down. Too low. That was too low. I just got one question. How come one of y'all didn't come through the screen? How come y'all didn't come through the camera and come over here and press the record button for me? How come one of y'all didn't come into my room and press the record button for me? Because I know I'm not gonna get that. I'm gonna hit record now and I'm not gonna get that. What I was just doing, it's not gonna be there. I'm not gonna get it. Watch. Maybe so, I don't know. Let's add on to that. That's an interesting little sound. Okay, every time, okay. So a C and then B. And now we gotta tame this bass, because this bass was kind of going crazy. So we're just gonna tame this down just a tad, just a little bit. I'm hearing like some strings. You know, this is my vibe. Pretty much like this sound is like my vibe. So what I'm hearing is like dun 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 dun. Like as we get to that last part, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like when I get to this second time around. Okay, let me see. We gotta tame some of this sounds a little bit. And let's move this, nudge that bass line over a little bit. Okay, that was too much. So let's go to like 150. Fix that note right there. And I kind of like, I like the bass, but it's just doing like going up like this a lot. So instead of it like going up like that, I'm gonna use this alter notes and maybe like create a different pattern, because it just kind of sounds like it just keeps going like up, up, up. Thunder is gone while you play now. Yeah, I took some of the bass out. I took some of the bass out on that piano verse. It's kind of crazy. Look how much low end. But it's still there every time I press stop. So that's why I'm trying to figure out what that is. But I took some of that low end out with a high pass filter. But that's crazy how much bass is in there. Yo, McEastlands, what's up, man? The McEastlands have entered the chat. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. And if you are, please be sure to, you know what that's for, right? You know what that's for. If you are enjoying the stream, please make sure to do that. Right now in our poll, we have a beast at 56%. We have a few people saying that Drum Sequencer is overrated. And I think I saw a comment of somebody saying that they were saying something about Drum Sequencer. Drum Sequencer is dope, but you always got to like when somebody adds in a but after they say something. Whenever they say something and then they add in a but, that means you know something is coming. Like Drum Sequencer is dope. You could have just stopped right there. Yeah, just stop right there. We just go on about our day. Drum Sequencer is dope, but I like sequences better because of the note conditions update. Sequences, that must be a VST or something that I am not familiar with. But McEastland says that they are back in the country. Shout outs to you, man. I'm glad that you made it back safely. I hope that you enjoyed your time out there in the place that you was at, just in case somebody don't know you and know where you was at. But I know where you was at and I know why you was there. At least I believe I know why you was there and where you was at and what you was doing. But nonetheless, wherever you was at in your travels and wherever you were doing them, I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I'm glad to see that you are back, my friend. How has things been going with you with music? How have things been going with the placements and the I look super orange. I look like a Oompa Loompa right now. How have things been going with placements and with the sync placements specifically? Yeah, that was it. Okay, so for sure, just in case other people don't know, you know, they don't need to know what we know. But y'all can go check his page out if y'all curious. Just go check out the McEastlands page and you'll know exactly, you know what I'm saying, what we talking about. He can't hide it after that, but How do you use drum sequencer with old school samples like Lynn Collins? I'm too used to Ableton. How can you use it with old school samples like Lynn Collins? I think you're asking like if you can use it like as a tool to do like sampling in general. It's kind of what it sounds like you're saying. And for that answer, I don't know if I would necessarily have an answer, because I don't think you want to use drum sequencers as a drum sequencer primarily. You know, you want to use it as a drum sequencer primarily. So I wouldn't advise it to be like to play sounds. And the reason why is because there's no way for you to stop. Oh, wait, go back. There's no way for you to stop the sound. Like when you play this sound, there's no way for you to like cut it short or stop it or anything like a trigger. Exactly. There's no way for you to stop it or cut it short. So if you just play, like if you used it, it would just keep playing all the way through. So I wouldn't advise you to do something like that. And there's also no way for you to elongate the notes either. There's no way for you to elongate the notes either. So I wouldn't recommend that you do that either. But for what you specifically asked for, I might have another workaround that you can do using something like Mimic. For example, if you use Mimic and combine that with Polystep Sequencer, that might be something closer to what you are trying to achieve. So I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. We have to set this Polystep Sequencer up a few ways. First, by just resetting it, clearing it out, and then going to chromatic mode. And now that we're on chromatic mode, we are connected to the Mimic and we can just play the sample chromatically. I'm going to go into my soul sample pack that I recently created, and if you want that soul sample pack, all you have to do is become a member of the YouTube channel and you will get it completely free. It is in the community tab. You can download that if that is something you're interested in, or you can go and purchase it. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. I will send you the link so you can purchase the patch, the loop pack that I am referring to. First, I gotta actually find it somewhere in my folder. Here we are, AI soul samples. So if we have our AI soul samples here, I'm trying to pick a good one that I want to do. I like this one a lot. Bum 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 bum. Okay, I realized that I'm talking and you can't actually hear the sample. So here's this sample here, and you can use the slice mode to create some slices. And I'll play those slices. All right, so I'm just playing that so you get a, preview. That is AI soul samples. You guys can pick that up if you are a member. It is in the community section. You can download the AI soul samples. It gives you all of these different samples here included, and there is a clean version and a dirty version of those samples. But back to the tip that I was trying to show you. If you use Polystep Sequencer, then you have the availability to lengthen how long you want that note to be, and then you can choose different parts of the slice in order to play through Polystep Sequencer. Now, I don't know why you would necessarily do that. I don't know why you would do that, but you could do that. So like, for example, and you can sequence it like that. Actually, you might be on to something there, Chris. I like that. Cool. I love it when a plan comes together. Gain Stage, shout outs to you for the question, and I'm glad that I could help. He says, I think you answered that perfectly. It's the mimic instrument and the poly function. Thank you. Polystep sequencer for the win, man. Pretty much everything you can do in most of the other players, you can do in Polystep sequencer. It really is like the beast player of Reason Studios. Like, they made a bunch of players. Chord sequencer is dope, but you can do a lot of what you can do in chord sequencer through Polystep sequencer. You can create chords, even scales and chords. It has built-in scales and chords right here. You can select the key and you can select the scale, and then you can create chords in Polystep sequencer with keys and scales. And if you don't believe me, just somebody type it in the chat that you don't believe me, and I'll show you what I mean. But Polystep sequencer is very powerful, just as much as drum sequencer is. I mean, I just like all of the players. It really makes it super simple and easy. And yeah, using this as that, like, I'm gonna keep it real with you, that's like a first. I've never used Polystep sequencer to play a sample like this, and I feel like there was somebody in my live stream that once told me to do it, and I never did it. But for sure, that's one way that you could do it. And then if you want to like get rid of some of that, like it's choppy, just turn up the release and then hit mono retrig. Then you can come down here and you can start adjusting how you want the sample to play, because you got it playing. So then you can come down here and maybe. I mean, come on now. Let's play our drums with that real quick. Woo! Man, that's a whole nother vibe. And when you got good samples, like if you got a good sample and you know it's a royalty free sample and it has that vibe that, you know, puts you right into the mood, when you got stuff like that that you can just pull from and drop into Reason, that just makes it even better. Mimic, Polystep sequencer, that is a really powerful combination, and I'll show you another way you can go forward. Oh, hey, by the way, Ben Bowman, what's up, Ben? What's up, Ben Bowman? Welcome to the stream. I'll take it another step forward with Polystep sequencer. What I usually do, duplicate to all variations. So now we got that same pattern over here on the variation wheel to our left. We got that same pattern, and like I was doing earlier, I changed this last one so that it had like a repeat, so we could do that. And then maybe on this second one, on this last one to the fourth, we can like just add in a whole bunch of like, you know, like a whole bunch of changes, man, and just really make it just go off and just go crazy up in here. So we just change like a bunch of notes, and then we'll start from one, turn it to next on auto switch, and then we just play it through and it'll just play them all. Oh, I love that. Oh, I like that. Trying to find the key for that. I'm struggling a little bit. G sharp, and then I dropped it down 5. Oh man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So E flat something, probably E flat minor. Let's try it again. Hit play. Hit play on that one. So that is, yeah, one way that you can do that, man. That's kind of cool. And if I'm ever like in my sample bag, I want to use those samples or something like that, that is definitely like a tool that I would use. With Mimic, like I said, like I was creating a whole like intro section with Mimic, right? Like using over here this EQ low cut. It's just, everything is just built in right away. So we hit play and we can just start with that low cut, sound like it's coming through a radio, pull it down. And that's your intro. Then you just drop your drums and your bass, right? Drop that little thunder bomb, man. So yeah, different little tips that you can do, different things that you can do with that, and that's one of them, using that Mimic. Now I wonder if I can find me like a vocal sample that I could drop into that sample area. Instead of using that, I'll find a vocal sample that I can drop in. Maybe I can use with the other track that I was already doing. Maybe I could, maybe I can. It's like a bunch of like, I don't know what that is. You will be the life of the party. Well, I can't, but I'm gonna bypass it and then just play it. I'll find one that I like and then I'll just play it with Mimic. Somebody tell me what they're saying. Que não me casarei nunca, 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 que não me casarei nunca. Mick Eastland says, didn't you do a tutorial on AI soul generation? Yeah, I did a tutorial on how I created those soul samples using Magenta, the plugin Magenta, and just in general how you can use like there's different websites and stuff that you can use to generate sounds and vocals and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely in the page somewhere if anybody is interested in it. Yo, what are they saying? I don't know what she's saying. I don't think that has like, I don't think that's, that ain't really fitting the vibe at all. But I'm going to go ahead and drop these drums into the, let me turn that off real quick. Sorry about that. I'm going to drop these drums into the sequencer from Drum Sequencer. And that's another thing that you can do, right? You can go ahead, once you have your drum loop, you just go up here to send to track. I'm adjusting stuff in my studio that I don't want to adjust it. Go up here to send to track, and now you have that drum sequence here. It's all mapped out with all of the variations, all of the velocity changes. It's all up in here. You can change individual notes because now it's just playing from Kong, and that's another thing that you can do. Okay, I see some questions, and I want to get to you guys' questions. So let's do questions and C minor, and then we'll do 90 BPM so that we can go ahead and save that guy, get that guy saved so we don't lose it. That is important that we do that, because otherwise we will end up just not having that saved. All right, so we were talking about these different questions that we had. I had a black screen for a minute there. Did the tutorial. Can you split the Reason screen over 2 monitors? I want more real estate. That's a very good question, and it's a very easy question to answer. The simple answer is yes. Yes, you certainly can. Now, how can I show that is the next question, right? The next question would be, how can I show you that that's what you can do? Let me see if I have something in here that I could show that with without showing everything that I don't want to show. Okay, here's our cam split. I'll go ahead and show you my second window over here, which is the LG. So I'll put that guy over here, and I'll show you the steps that you need to do so that you could do that. So this is my second window. Right now it's showing my YouTube and everything because that's my monitor. Mick Eastland is telling us how, you know, baller he is with his studio setups. He has 3 monitors. We've shown his setup on our live stream before as well. His setup is like 2 monitors in the middle, and he has a vertical monitor because, of course, the Reason rack, especially you get into the rack, how it extends down. Having that vertical, you know, monitor really comes in handy. You know what I'm saying? He has 3 monitors, so that's super dope. So the way that we would do it is you just need to pop out the window by hitting one of these arrows. It says detach rack, or you can also do Control F5, F6, F7, and you can detach it and then you can separate it, right? So if I hit Control F7 Control F6, I'm sorry, then it detaches the rack. So now the rack is another window, and I can pull this over here. Right, so now you should be able to see my two windows. I have my sequencer on this window, and I have my rack over here on this window. And the two windows that you're seeing is on the left side of the screen is my left monitor, which is an Asus monitor, and on the right side you are seeing my desktop, and for my other monitor, which is an LG monitor. And so now I am dragging it over. See that? I'm dragging it over. And so just steps one more time, Control F6, or you can also do Control F5. That detaches the window. The buttons for them are these arrows right here where it says detach mixer, detach rack. F5, and then you can drag this over. And now we just have just our mixer on this window, and then we can use our sequencer over here. I think for me, I don't think I would ever use, like, I've never had it where it was just like separated like that for the most part when I'm live streaming, because I want to be able to see the rest of my info, and I don't have a third monitor. But if I was to use it in general, it would probably be more something like this. It would be sequencer on one window and then the rack on the other window, so that way I can get in, get two different instruments in the rack and have my sequencer over here. And if I need to get to my mixer, I can just press F5. So also keep that in mind, the different shortcuts, F5, F6, and F5, F6, and F7. F7 goes to the sequencer, F5 goes to the mixer, F6 is your rack. And because I have two windows open, you can see both the rack and the mixer. Cool. But I usually only use it with one. What was the other question I saw? Oh, I'm sorry. Where did you say we could pick up the Soul Pack? So Ben Bowman, if you are a member of this channel, when you join the channel, you get access to member only posts, and it's like a membership section here on YouTube as well. You get access to it, and from there you can just download it for free. And so your membership, I think the membership right now is just $5 a month. And of course, I upload new stuff each month, so that way those that are members, they can have something downloaded from me, whether that be a patch or whether that be like exclusive content, exclusive, things that I haven't, played or showed anywhere else, or like that sample pack, for example. You can download that completely free, because you've already paid for the membership. Now, if you want to purchase it outright, I have a place that you can go to purchase it as well, and I'll put that link. I'll put that link in the YouTube right now, and you can purchase those AI soul samples. All right, so that's that. So that is in there. I thought I saw one more. Do you always use the bounce to track feature whenever you create a sample? Whenever I'm bounce to track from players, if I'm doing a player, that's send to track. Bounce to track, send to track. I'm trying to see what it's saying. When I'm creating a sample, usually I'm just inside of the Reason window. Like usually I'm just inside of, like I'm just in the sequencer. And then once I'm done with the sequencer, I'll go to File and export loop as an audio file. That's typically what I would do. And then that way I have that. The other way is like that whole complicated setup where you use this to create a record source, clicking that record source button, coming down here, turning on stereo, turning on master section, and then recording it through like this. Oh, let me turn my audio back on, my bad.
That bounce question is great from a Cubase Pro Tools Ableton perspective. I struggle with Reason. With bouncing, oh man, I did one of them things where I drank some juice and I drank the juice and the juice went straight to my lungs. Oh my goodness. All right. There's a couple different ways that you can bounce things in Reason if you want just the audio. So this was one, right? So now I have the audio of the track right here. And then sometimes I will right click that and then you can bounce to new samples. And that way you have that sample inside of Reason and you can like drag that into Mimic, for example. And so now it's in Mimic and I can play it with Mimic just as a like something that you could do. Oh, I like that. I'm always finding something I like. I hate this. I hate making beats. Whoa. I hate that. Why does that sound so much better than what I had before? Like, why I like this? But maybe I could use that in this track, you know, like maybe I can pull this guy back and record that in. It's this one. I can record that into the sequencer like. And then when it's time to play the full sample, and of course, like there's other ways that you could do that as well. You don't even have to pull up Mimic to do that. Technically, I could just use this WAV file and just drop it down. I think it was. But it does sound totally different than when it was playing inside of Mimic. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And then I could come over here and like use this little scratch drop thing to create like a little intro or whatever. Like. And that could be a little intro, but I don't want that as an intro. As a matter of fact, I think what would have been better is if I just took the piano like this, and then you can go right click and bounce into place. You bounce that into place, right? And so now we have the audio of that. Then we can drop that down by 6 because that's just the piano, right? And then you can pull that up like that, right? But I think, where's this guy at? I don't know. I think that for this track, I think that for like this track, I think the sound would be better going the other way. So going from like happy and bright down to mellow and slow. So I'm gonna do it the other way around. Right, so I'm gonna do it the other way around, right? I'm gonna move this over here and we're gonna play this regular. And then let's move this because I'm doing a bunch of stuff now, but we'll put this over here. We're gonna slow this drums down. Don't do that. Mute this one. Yeah, like lo-fi. I love Mimic for everything. Mimic just inspired that whole vibe. Whole vibe inspired by Mimic. How'd they do that? Whole vibe inspired by Mimic. Crazy. Whole vibe. Where is the one that I just created though? Oh, it got moved over somewhere else. I don't want that there. Move that over here. Dun, 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 dun. Da-da-da-da-dum. Ba-da-da-da-dum, dum, dum, dum. I think we go down 6. Okay, the original key was dum 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 dum. So now boom, 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 boom. There it is. Yeah, like that. Now it's like R&B. Now it's like a little R&B vibe. And it's like super like bassy, so we gotta like come in here and do this high pass filter. Yeah, and then save that, and then there we go. And then we're gonna play the piano verse. Here we go. Pull the whole thing together. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I hear like I don't know, we're just kind of getting into like the vibe of creating now, right? Put an ALA2A plugin across the piano and an SL. Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. I definitely like collaborating. I like doing. Listen, what you just said was put a bunch of money. Like, hey, I don't have none of them kids. What you talking about? Hey, Game Stage, you're hilarious. He was like, hey, put all of this money on these plugins. Like, I ain't got none of them plugins. Who got all them plugins? I ain't got them plugins. I ain't got none of that. We got Reason stock and a few demo VSTs. Oh man, that really tickled me. That really tickled me. I think this guitar might be off. Might need some tuning. Let's get into that. Fats O Fiction. Welcome to the stream, Fats O Fiction. Game stage, it was good hanging with you too, man. I gotta check some of that stuff out. How similar is Reason 12 workflow and learning curve compared to Reason 3 or 4? It's pretty much the same exact program, except for it's like unlocked. The potential of it is unlocked. So it's kind of like Reason like 3 or 4, but like you added NOS to your car. It's just kind of like that. It's like you went in, you took the Honda, you know, you went in and you did some tuning, and you know, so if you can drive a car, cool. And then once you add all the other stuff, now you can just drive it better, right? You just drive it faster. That's pretty much how I would describe it. You know, some of the things you couldn't do before, like bouncing tracks, recording audio. Like I'm finna record this guitar into here after I add some kind of effect on it so that it sounds better than what it sounds like. This little $30, this little, you know, amp I got right here, make it sound a little better. You couldn't do that in Reason 3 and 4. You couldn't add in recording instruments, or you couldn't add in like, you know, anything like that. You had to just use what you had essentially. You couldn't add any of that in. Turn that gate on. Thing is coming through loud, huh? Now I did my practice and I'm gonna go hit record, and I want to hear exactly that. I want to hear what I was just recording. And it's kind of like playing harder than I wanted it to. Like this is more like, it's too rock. It's too like distorted. I didn't really want it distorted. I just wanted somewhere between distorted and clean. So like not so heavy, somewhere in between. Simon Hitchcock. And also B-Hoss in this building, man. What's up, yo? Simon, you making me laugh again too. Now he talking about a bunch of stuff. Yeah, man, you just need about, 30 years of piano playing and, like $6,000 worth of amps and gear and compressors, and then yeah, it's gonna give it that sound, man. Definitely not that. Oh Lord Jesus. Let's go with the funky wah. Something about that just make it sound like exactly what you want it to sound like, huh? Let's try it. Don't ask me what that last thing was. I don't know. I don't know. But it's not quite the sound I wanted though. Okay, now I think the next step is to not do the same exact melody in the piano, but to play something else different. That was an eyes closed moment right there. That was an eyes closed moment right there. Yeah, that's an eyes closed moment right there. Let me see. Oh, it's loud. It's too loud. Now, why? Why though? Why is it doing that? Come on. There we go. F, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Paul F says this is his first time to the stream. Welcome, sir. I appreciate you for coming through to hang out with us for just a quick second here as we make this track and go over drum sequencer and a few other things, you know, inside of Reason. Yeah, I had to turn down my input. Ben Bowman, you are so correct, sir. It was definitely too hot. I have never tried to make a Rex loop with the Tool app. I've never tried to. One other thing you could do, I know this is not what you want to do, but one thing you can do is if you have the audio file inside of the sequencer, you can go to slice mode, slice edit, and then you can right click and bounce as a Rex loop. You probably already know how to do that. You probably are like very familiar with that, but I'm just saying like that's something you could do. And then you would have that Rex file inside of Reason where you can, you know, play it, you know, inside of a Rex. That's one way that you could do it. Not saying that you probably didn't know about that or like, you know, don't want to do that, but I have never used the tool to try to do it, so I couldn't even tell you like about using the tool. That's the thing. But that's how I create my Rex files. So yeah, I'm still learning, y'all. But anyway. Still learning. Let's just copy it down. Let's see. Will that give me the effect that I want? If I just copied it over, will that give me the effect? It did. Tell the story. He says, save the project. You know me so well. Snow, what's up? Just hanging out, just figuring some things out, just checking some things out. It's very interesting how we can go from like just something totally different. We went from something totally different to something totally different to something totally different again. We definitely started with this. We definitely started with that. And that's still there. That still exists. We could bring that back some kind of way. We heard that. All right. We started with that, and that was a good feel. That was a vibe. But then we heard this. And I don't know, something about that mood and that vibe. I kind of like that. I like that, you know. So then we take the drums out, and I definitely like that better. And I also just like, I'm just a little, I don't know, I'm a little impressed that I played that piano. I promise you I probably couldn't play it again, but I am impressed that we was able to get, you know, we was able to record it at least once. We was able to actually record it. See, look, already. It's... Oh no, I forgot. I do this. I really do this. Forget that. I really do this. I was tripping like, oh wait, hold on. Did I actually play that? Like, wait, what is this? Forgot I could play piano for a minute. Oh man, let's go. Okay, so I like that piano, man. That's Piano Verse from IK Multimedia. They did their thing. And it's like it's recorded on the live stream. Y'all, you know, take that. Somebody sample that. And you know what I'm saying? I got this piano from Chris Reed Beats. Like, do that. You know what I'm saying? What was I finna say? IK Multimedia Piano Verse is probably about like hundreds of patches. And I found that one patch and I tweaked it a little bit, and I love that. I love the way that it sounds. But all of the different patches have their own style and flavor, but this one itself just has a really interesting sound that I just really like. IK Multimedia for the win for sure. Okay, so back to Reason. So we did all of those iterations, and that led us to this. I'm just summarizing in case somebody new came in, you know what I'm saying? They ain't been around. They don't know what we're doing right now. We're going to do some of that. We're going to do something else with that, with this guitar part. I want some guitar in it. but
So you're not done telling the story yet, Chris. Like, the story of this track is not done being told. So you can't just be like, oh yeah, we gotta finish telling the story. The guitar has its place. I don't know if it has its place right there. I almost want to come in here and take the hi-hats out for when the beat first drops. And then it's also something else that I'm hearing, because I also just feel like I like the vibe, but I think like it's something about like the modern sound, like modern drums, something about like having like modern drums. And when I say modern, just like trappy sounding drums. Like even like I hear like the 808, because I mean like we have the 808. I hear the hi-hat. I hear that hi-hat coming in, you know, but I also hear like you know, that different kind of snare hitting, that trappy snare. I just hear those different things as the beat drops. I like hear those different things. I don't want to use that one. I use that one too much. Don't you just hate that? Don't you hate like not being able to find a snare that you like and stuff? Like, I just hate that. I don't want that kick either. Yeah, maybe something like that. Where's it at? This one. I need to bring this one down so we can hear the snare. Oh, it wasn't that one. It was not that one. Okay, so pull that one back. It was this one. Bring this one down. Man, what did I do with this drum pattern that I cannot find what I'm looking for? I did a whole bunch of stuff, huh? Okay, Chris. Okay, are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? And then you'll hear what I mean when I start adding in like the little, you got to get the vibe of the like Chris Brown, like new album just dropped, like, you know, it just has those different vibes. And I feel like there's a part of me that's saying like, we really need to like take a break and just go appreciate some music. Like take a break from, because I can get very nerdy and not musical. I can get very nerdy and not musical, right? And so in getting nerdy and not musical, like, it's like, oh, we talking about and teaching about Reason, but not getting musical, not getting to the point where, you know, things are sounding, you know, musical. That was interesting. So I know that there's a part of me that's like, I really need to like take a step back and like really get into a more musical space where I'm like listening to some music and like getting the vibe. I say this a lot too. Like I do a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. And
It's important to like get the sound of music. And I guess also it's also important to keep your own style of music, like your own feeling with music, like just what you like to hear and what, you know, gets you going. That's important too. I just also just think about like, what is the purpose of beats if it's not for somebody else to listen to or hear? And then it also has to be something that sounds good to you. Like I heard recently, it's like, why would I ever make music that I don't even want to listen to? Like, why would I make music that I don't want to replay and revisit later on? Like, so if that's what I'm hearing, I'm gonna go through with it and pull the entire vibe out, and then we'll see where we can go with it. Yeah, so we're gonna start it from here and then hit send to track real quick. It's probably making a bunch of noise because it's sending to track. It's not even that much to send. What is y'all doing? Why is y'all doing all of that? What? It's not even that much. Okay, make a shorter loop, send to track. Just being extra for no reason. Show us some more ratchets. What that means, some more ratchets. How do I show you more ratchets? You gotta be more specific so I know what it is that you're looking for. Bro, why is it exporting this bar so much? Oh, set the loop right here. This is the loop that I want. What is it doing? It's not supposed to take this long to send to track. It's just one bar. Thank you. I don't know why it did that. It was like taking forever. Okay, let's play it from the top. Oh, the trills. He's saying like the ratchets. That it sounds like a ratchet. Willie Jackson up in here. What's up, Willie? Might go mini V3. I need like a lead or something now. So Willie is asking, is it better? Well, is it better to start with drums or melody? And one thing I will say, Europlaying, what's good, man? Welcome to the stream. Paul F is giving you a answer. He says, I'm going to say it depends on the mood you're in or what most hits you creatively at first. And I agree with that as well. And then what I will also just kind of like add to that would be, we did this track with, let me move this. We did this track starting with the drums, and then and then we played piano over those drums. So sometimes for me, piano is probably the first thing that's going to set me off, if not bass. I think the short answer to the question is melody. The short answer to the question is melody. Because even if you do like a chord progression, even if you say, I'm going to start with this chord progression, there's still a melody there. So there's still a melody, right? So it's really melody that I think drives it for me. But sometimes you need a rhythm to give you the melody. Sometimes you need a rhythm to kind of start you off. So there's been times where even like a simple percussion loop that had a certain vibe kind of set off the melody and set off the chords, and that's what made the difference. And then, so especially like for this track that we started with drums. We started with drums in Drum Sequencer, and because of the pattern of drums that we were doing, you know, it just kind of, I heard something, and then because I've been a studio rat my whole life, it was like, okay, I can kind of figure out how to do it. And then like, so one thing led to the next. So it really depends on your creative process. I will also say that drums can be the thing that like sets your production. Like it sets the vibe in terms of like, okay, are we going to go trap? Are we going to go hip hop? Are we going to go like, you know, complex? Are we going to go cinematic? You know, what kind of vibe are we going to do? A lot of producers do drums last. A lot of producers spend a lot of time like layering and building up stuff. So you got leads and pads and chords and piano and strings and synths. You got all of these things. You got arps and you got breakdowns and transitions, all of that before you ever lay a drum, a kick, or a hi-hat. And then they just let that determine the bounce. So I see a lot of producers doing that, even with like sample production, right? Like a sample producer more than likely is going to start with the sample and then they're going to lay the drums later. So I want to say, of course, it's in your creative, what's the word? Like it's your creative process that's going to like lead you to where you should start. And then the circumstances, you know, not every beat will start the same. I don't think not every, you know, track will start the same or, you know, end the same, even just like showing the breakdown of how we went from like basically 3 iterations of this to really finding something where it's like, okay, I want to build on this thing. The first thing kind of sounded too funky, jazzy. It didn't really sound like what I was trying to get into today. So it's like, that's not the route that I want to go. And now we're getting closer to something where I feel like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. That sounds cool. So it really just depends. It really just depends. But I think that there's credence and there's opportunity and space for it to be any combination of how you start, you know. Another question: do you beatbox or do you beatbox your beat before making it? I do hum like melodies. Like that's what I did with this melody. I did hum it in my head. I was like, dun, 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 dun. Like I could hear it in the beat. As far as like beatboxing, like for the beat, there's been occasions where I've done that. And sometimes in my beat file, like over here, this beat file, like in the sequencer, you'll see like a little audio file and it'll just be my beatbox, but I muted it. And sometimes I'll leave it in. I'll like filter it out, or I'll do like an effect with it so that it's like still present, giving some kind of bounce. But it's like slight and subtle. But yeah, beatboxing is definitely a technique that you could use in order to you know, start your process off and hear the bounce and get the bounce that you're looking for. Absolutely. When I see beatbox, I mean like Charlie Puth or Timberland. Charlie, like a lot of people say they appreciate my tutorials, and I appreciate you for appreciating my tutorials. Charlie is one of those people that every time I watch one of his videos of him creating something or like thinking of something, a lot of thoughts come in my mind. The first one being like, man, you just wanted to stun on us today. Like that'd be like the first thing I say. The second thing I'd be like, man, like that was so simple, and he made it sound so dope. And I was like, that really has to be the move. Like making that simple, that transition from here's my simple idea, making that simple transition to that and then putting it into the track. Like that's a simple process that's really dope. We got to shout out, man. Shout outs to Paul F for joining the channel. First of all, let me just tell you, man, I appreciate you and thank you so much for joining the community. What that means is that you have added on to the ability for me to be able to do these live streams and create these videos. It's very important to have your support, and I appreciate you, as well as the other avid readers who have joined the channel. I appreciate you guys. And of course, enjoy having your channel badge and being able to be recognized and represented in the chat room, aside from other people. Like that's a really cool feature. I love to see when my members who have signed up come into the chat, because I can see their emblem and see that they signed up. It's really dope just to see that variety. And as well, make sure that you check out the community section and the different post from YouTube, the YouTube community feature or whatever, because that is where you can find the downloads, the free downloads, packs, patches, all of that type stuff. You can find those things. And if you don't have access, like if you click on one of those links and it doesn't work, just shoot me an email and I'll make sure to get it to you, because some of those links I did in like 2021, like, and it's 2023 now, but there will be new things added, loops, patches, you know, exclusive content, stuff like that, exclusive live streams. And right now we got a good amount of members to the point where it's like, okay, some of these live streams are going to be more member only. I'm gonna have to start giving you guys some exclusive content, even if that just means just more time hanging out with me. We might do some other things, you know, instead of beat making. Maybe we chop it up, talk about some stuff, or you know, anything like that. And I did say that I was going to include in the channel membership. I gotta go into YouTube and change the settings, and so that it's there. I want to add an option for you to get a discount on the one-on-one live tutorial sessions that I do over Zoom. So that way, if you are a member of the channel, you will receive a discount when you sign up for one of those. And what I'll do is I'll just give you a different email or a different link that you can use when you want to sign up and you want to get that. But thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining, and enjoy the downloads and everything with that, man. Super dope. So, I'm just looking at some of the chat still. My mind can take me on a journey into a 2-bar loop of Rhodes piano into a whole song mood, and it's where I would start. That's dope. I think a lot of times, like I heard you say earlier that Rhodes was like your thing. Like Rhodes was like the thing that like, it gets the people going, man. It gets the people going. And I really like Arturia's stage. I like this Rhodes a lot. I think that it's probably one of the better ones that I've heard. And I changed keys. Now I changed key from C minor to F major. And I'm like fighting the urge to play C minor chords. Like, don't play that chord. That's not a chord for this key. Play this chord. I was getting lost in there. I wasn't supposed to do. Just getting lost. Let me see. Beha says, don't forget, show us how to build a bridge. Show us how to build a bridge. Let's do one with this track. Let's do it real quick. Let's do it with this track. So let's see what we got. First, we got to finish building the track and get a chorus in there. Something happened here. What happened? This thing is playing. I hate that I did a key change. So I'm thinking like because B-House was saying like to create the bridge, right? So I'm thinking like how do we go from yeah. Something like that. So because we go from these chords into these chords and then kind of build back into it. So let's turn this off real quick. I'm also going to turn this off too. I'm turning it off. I'm turning it off. So I'm gonna copy this over. And we're gonna get rid of this piano and this bass. And then I'm coming over here. So 1 second, right here. So now we just got drums. And we're gonna play that piano that I was doing right here. And then, so now it's like, okay, how do we go from there? How do we go from here to come back? Okay, so, and then I have to take this now and bounce this so I can drop it the 6. Or I guess I could transpose it down the 6. Yeah, man, I'd be tripping. I was sitting here like, it's the camera. It's like the camera put a beam on my forehead. I'm gonna take this down 6 and let me see how this fits. Okay, so it fits, but I don't want to go. Okay, so if I start at 0 and I'm transposing down. Let me see. I'm transposing down from 12. I want to get to -6. So I'm going to go. Oh, it's not up 6. Well, I guess that does work. Right. Just press the F key. Press F and it will follow. It's right here, follow song. Who is this? DJ Centron. Press the F key for follow song and it will follow it. So the key I'm playing in is C minor. Oh, that's not a piano. That's C minor, but it's transposing down from C minor 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Down to F. But I don't know. But okay. So a quandary because I transposed it down 6, but oh no, you can't even hear the audio. I've been playing all this stuff, man. Oh my goodness. My bad. So this is the new thing I did. Shout outs to Uncanny Telepathy. Welcome to the stream. And then for Mimic, I just transpose Mimic down. That's why Mimic will just play it. It'll just play it regular because I transpose Mimic down. So it's supposed to do that on Mimic, but not on Moto Bass. That's not doing it though. Is it even 6? Should have just did the whole beat. I should have just did the whole beat and then transpose after. Let me see if it'll transition from this. It's not it's me. It's I'm doing some extra stuff. So So the key, so the key to creating this bridge is not to make it sound like a totally different song, which is what I was doing. It went from like this super slow, like ballady feel to like this like very epic-y, happy sounding thing, right? So we want to keep it relative in the same chords. This was our ending chord. So from there, we're going to go up to the next chord. And what we need to do is find a way to get back to this chord. So if we're here, we could do that. Or, yeah, so we could do that. So we could go. Okay, so let's try to add something here. So if we have that, right? And now we're just gonna shift these down 6 to match our original vibe, and we'll pull this back down -6 as well. There's our original vibe, and that fits a little bit better. Yeah, and then there you go. So that it leads back. It leads back into into the other chord, because we have this chord that leads back into that. And then I guess we also could do that, right? We also could do that as well. I wish there was an easier way for me to transpose with my keyboard. That way I could just do it that way. Even with this though, I think I might pull this up because it kind of sounds low. it's just so specific. And then you just need to like add some stuff in to give it that bridgy feel. So I like some strings right here for our bridge. So we'll bring our bass back and we'll do our new bass for this part, which was and then there's a part in this piano that's off. I think I got it. Thanks. probably one of the hardest things to kind of talk through is like creating that like little section right there. But we raise it up from what we were originally playing, and then we find a key or chord that brings it back down to our original track. So and then I would probably add in like this, probably add in these Rhodes. have to take a moment real quick. I have to take a moment to say that I did all that struggling because I couldn't find the key. I started in C minor and I thought it was going to, but it wasn't going there. It actually was going to. It actually was going there. So anyway, it's important to find a key. But the reason why I'm stopping is because to say I was in Reason and they have scales and chords. So why didn't I just pull up scales and chords? Why did I do all of that when I could have just pulled up scales and chords? So I'm going to go to this stage because I was struggling to transpose because I only know how to really play in C minor. That's really just all I know how to play in. So it's not C minor. I believe it's D major. So we're just gonna change it to D major. But it's not. It's still not that. Just go to C minor. And then we're just going down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me see. Is that it? Let's try that. E flat major. Let's try that. Yeah, but that's just the relative minor of C. That's just, yeah, that's just C minor. But it's not E flat. It's not E flat major. I'm trying to find. All right, so I'm still doing it. All right. Well, I'll figure out what that is later at another time. But building that bridge, you know, finding these chords. Because I want to add in some rows right there. So okay, so maybe it's that. There we go. Okay. But then of course I played an alternate note there. So the new chords is the so it's not that. Okay, E. What is that? So would it be a modal change of the same key from minor to Mixolydian? Just guessing. Let's try that hypothesis out. What I specifically did was I'm in the same key when I'm doing my change. Okay, when I'm doing my change from the DJ, it's been a pleasure with you as well, man. Take care. Hey, I'm glad that, you know, we can do some inspiration and inspiring things. When I started, I don't want to use this one though. When I started my chords, so the main chords, those are the main chords. The next chords are and then back to this. So I didn't necessarily change key. I'm in the same key. What those keys that you're referring to, if we go to scales and keys, right, and when we're in C minor, right? C minor is C, D. That sounded cool. Doom, 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 doom. Anyway, I'm just getting distracted. So C minor. So let's see if we go to C, if we go to Mixolydian, that changes the scale. See how it changes the scale in C Mixolydian? C Mixolydian just changes the scale. So it's not going to play the same things. It's going to be a little different. So even like C minor and then C Mixolydian, totally different scale. So you could try it and see what kind of chords you get. If you did something like that, you could do that. If you're familiar with the scales, like you know how to go in between different types of scales, then yeah, that would be what you could do. You could go from, you could find the relative major of C, and you can use that to create your bridge section of your track. But I stayed in the same key as far as I'm concerned with notes. I stayed in the same key, in the same scales. I just played different chords or a different rhythm inside of that key, inside of that key structure or whatever. So, you know, what I played, even this note right here, right? Like even that chord is not in the scale of C minor. That's like a different chord, but this chord is in C minor, and that chord is in C minor as well. So this is just a B alternate chord that I'm playing. It's a B alternate chord. It's not in C minor, but we come back to C minor. But in our bridge section, we just go up from the last chord that I played. So up from this chord, the next chord up is, and we just start here and then just down to the F, and then kind of go back up a little bit, back down, then back to the F. And then this is an alternate chord because this chord is also not in C minor, right? This is not in C minor, but it leads to C. You can kind of hear. And the reason why it leads to C is because it's playing C sharp. It's on C sharp. So it's a half note above C coming back down. So that's why it kind of leads to it. But there are other notes that lead to it, like for example, the tritone, which would be this, kind of leads back to it. Right? So this little tritone chord leads back to it as well. So we could do and then play that tritone. right? So we could do that. And then a lot of that is like, yeah, it's like learning different passing chords and chords and stuff like that when you're like trying to create that vibe. It's really like where you take the song and how you get back from that area. And there's like a lot of different things that you can do. The next part that I'm doing right here is I'm just going to add in some more elements into the bridge area. So that way, you know, we get that differentiation that, oh, this is the bridge part of the song. Like you might even add like other kinds of instruments. So we have like a piano. So maybe we pull up and like add an organ, subtly add this organ. We add this organ into the mix and maybe pan it somewhere. The thunder is back. So we're gonna add that organ. It's like this little legendary type little build. It's like way too hot, way too loud. Something a little softer, more subdued for the little guitar part. So we just come in with this, and I didn't like that organ. I'm gonna take that out and bring my piano back in. I hear like a little accent that we can do with these pizzicatos, like we can just do on the melody. Little accents. close. Now that revolves around how we want it to. So you need some of those elements to kind of pull you back in. It's just a long way around what I just did to get to that. I might actually start this earlier, maybe like here as a transition. And I think that little, yeah, no, we're just gonna do the original. Loud. And then, so the sequencing, so we gotta pull that bridge over, bring the verse back at least one more time. And then we can bring that bridge. And then I'm gonna da 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 da. This is our bridge. This is our hook. I think I'm gonna take this out for this part. I need something else for the hook to differentiate the hook from the verse. I think that's it. That little thunder sound. That's been the motif of this here session. Still haven't figured out what that is. Still haven't figured out was a camera setting. Most likely it's some kind of camera setting. The reason why I have that issue that's going on. But yeah, I think that will do it for the track. I think that there's a lot of different ways we could take this track. I'm also just in my head a little bit about it because I think sometimes we get caught up in like microwave versus oven, and things sometimes takes time, and trying to rush through something, and you might miss something. You might miss it. You might not hit the mark because you're trying to rush through it. And that's pretty much where I was for like a lot of this track, just trying to rush through it. But guess what? You don't have to rush through it. You don't have to like get to the finish line at the beginning of the race. That's not the point. So I had to like really slow down. Had to get out of my headspace and just work on it. Take our time. And I think that it makes a difference when you do that. Probably would have stopped
doing anything with this about an hour ago. But an hour ago, we wouldn't have gotten the bridge that we got. An hour ago, like, we wouldn't have had the cohesiveness. An hour ago, we still would have had those trap drums that I didn't really like. You know, these little hi-hats and stuff. I didn't like it. And somebody might like that. Somebody might say like, no, yeah, that gives it the sound, but I really don't like that sound. I really don't. I even think like I could use those hi-hats, but just not in the trappy trill style. Like maybe for the hook area, we could do like some simpler hi-hats with all of the trills or whatever, slower. Not like this. Like this is fast. I didn't really want that. And it's low because I turned it down low because I was supposed to be like ending the stream, but you know, I got ADHD, so I'm still doing stuff even so I was supposed to be finishing it. Now you can't see what I'm doing. You're just looking at my greasy looking face. Yeah, just like that. I feel like that could work for like the hook. Just like that. Smooth. Trying to do too much. Just trying to like, that's not the vibe. We definitely lost the vibe by trying to like speed it up and like make it sound faster than it needed to, and it's just like, it's not necessary, especially for this kind of track. Like it's more like a R&B vibe, R&B like ballady, like, you know, something smooth. Some of this guitar was in the wrong notes. Needed to go back in, change those notes, probably go back in, replay the guitar. It's a lot of different things we could do, but all of that stuff take time. And it's like, if you're not taking the time, you miss those things. So overall, drum sequencer for the win. Drum sequencer for the win, because we get none of this without the drum sequencer. We don't get to this part of the track without actually working with drum sequencer first to establish that vibe, and give us, you know, the feeling we was looking for and inspire the piano that we had from the track, right? A nice little piano melody, chords, that we have for this track. Shout outs to you guys for joining the stream. I really appreciate you guys. We're ending our poll with 40 votes at drum sequencer is a beast. Hopefully for those that were not familiar with drum sequencer, hopefully you got a little familiar with it today. I always do that thing where I start off with one thing and then we just kind of do some other stuff. Hopefully over time we just get better. It's definitely some people that I aspire to doing this YouTube game, doing this music production game. It's definitely some people that I aspire to that give me inspiration and kind of show me the blueprint of how things can go, should go, would go. And then my own, you know, encouragement of like just having fun and enjoying the process would be like, you know, the other part to this. But hopefully, you know, we get better. As time goes on, we'll get better at it. We'll get better at bringing these things together in a timely fashion and in an entertaining way. I want to say shout outs to our new channel member. I do appreciate you, Paul F. Appreciate you for joining the channel membership. Appreciate everybody came through to the session. B. Haas, Facts of Fiction, Uncle Utah, that's a new name. Shout outs to you. Ben Bowman was up in here. Game Stage, Chris Mills, Made So Well, the McEastlands channel member, Ivan Velez came through as well. Simon Hitchcock, Paul F. Just a lot of great people came through. Willie Jackson Jr., a longtime watcher, man. Appreciate you as well. Always good like information and
things added to the channel whenever you come through. So I appreciate you, man. DJ Centron, I believe, also came through. Just doing our roll call here, man. I appreciate y'all. What is in store for the channel? What's in store for the channel is more cook-ups, more live streams, more videos, and just having more fun, man. Hopefully I'll be able to get in here more often and sooner. For the month of November, I think this was my first appearance at all in general. So we definitely want to, you know, keep working on that and keep, you know, being able to get up in here as time permits and as my schedule permits. But that will be the goal for that. Doing some collaborations, working with some other people on YouTube, on the stream, on music production, just trying to get our music somewhere and trying to get to do something with it. Still got a lot of things in the works, still got a lot of things on my mind that I want to do. And I hope that God permits me to be able to do those things, man. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart for coming through to the stream. I hope that you guys have a great evening, a great morning, depending on where you are and where you're watching. With that being said, I'll catch you later. Peace.